morning, everybody. I thought I'd film outside today since it is a beautiful morning here in the Pacific Northwest, and I just wanted to do a quick review, or not really a review. I wanted to do a setup for beginners on how to get started in trout fishing for specifically stock trout. Here up in the Pacific Northwest, you can only use single hooks in some places, so it's much harder to rig up something for some people who are new to trout fishing. So I thought I'd give you what I like to use and what's been successful for me. And yeah, let's get into it. So before we get any farther into this video, I'd just like to say all the credit that I've learned most of this stuff from is all from Benjie Kim Fishing. So please go check out his channel. He has some great trout fishing content. So the type of rig I'm going to show you today is a Carolina rig setup, and it works really well for me in catching fish, stock trout specifically. And so let's get started and I'll show you how to set it up. So when getting into trout fishing, I like to use braided line as my main running line, and I like to use anything in between 5 to 8 pound test braid. Doesn't matter what specific braid you get. That's what I think is a really good size to start off with, so you can make farther casts, and also braid is more sensitive in my opinion and from my experiences, and from other people's experiences. You can go do your own research. But yeah, I think braid is a good running line to use. So for your leader, we're going to want to use something really small, because some stock trout are really picky and they've just seen every line size out there. They've seen everything from 5 to 10 pound. Ooh, you almost saw what it was. 5 to 10 pound, 15, 20 pounds. I don't know why people use that big of a line. Maybe they just don't want to lose the fish. But yeah, it's up to you. But what I prefer to use is the good old Daiwa Samurai Fluoro right here. There's a little bit of a glare there. But yeah, this guy right here. So this is in 4 pound test, but its diameter is in 2 pound test. So you get the strength of 4 pound test, but you're really having the diameter of 2 pound test. Pretty awesome. And I haven't lost a fish on this, knock on wood. But this stuff is awesome for your leader. Again, you're going to do anything from 12 to 24 inches of leader, depending on the vegetation at the bottom of your pond or lake, wherever river you're fishing. And yeah, Daiwa Samurai, 4 pound test. Okay, so hooks. If you're going to be releasing fish, or you're fishing a place that you have to release fish, I really recommend these single egg hooks, size 6 by Gamatsu. They work really great. Oh, the dog. They work really great. I've used these countless times, caught lots of fish on them. They do look a little big, I'll admit, but they do catch fish, so they work for me. But yeah, these guys right here, highly recommend them. If you're gonna do catch and release, they're just bigger hooks, so they're easily, so the fish can't swallow them as much. But yeah, on to the next one. And if you are going to be keeping fish, I recommend Gamatsu's size 12 TW hook. These guys right here, they are pretty small. They're like the owner mosquito hooks. But these ones I've had a lot of luck on if you're going to keep the fish. Again, those smaller hooks, the fish might swallow them. So if you're going to keep them, not a big deal. But if you're going to release them, you might want to reconsider getting a bigger hook. But in all, there you go for hooks. So what do you put on the end of these hooks? Well, I'm going to give you a couple of my key baits that have worked the best for me. And I have tried dozens and dozens of different power bait colors, scents, and all that jazz, but I'm going to share what works the best. Okay, so coming in at number 1, which I've caught the most amount of trout with, specifically in the early summertime, is pink power bait with the original scent. Okay, this guy right here just says power bait original scent trout nuggets. Caught so many fish on this. This is your number 1 for stock trout, especially the pink color. Okay, they're already made into nuggets, so you can just plop it right down on that hook. It covers the entire hook. Throw it out there. Don't have to wet it before. I recommend you do, but you can just toss it out there, whatever distance you are, so let it sit there. Okay, let's get in for the second one. Coming in at number 2, I highly recommend these mouse tails. These ones, again, pink. Pink is the theme, okay? So pink with the white tail on there. It's called Bubblegum White Garlic. So they are garlic scented. And these are the 3/8s. 3/8s? Yeah. Again, I've caught my biggest trout, which was 15 inches last year. I know it's not very big to some people, but to me, that was my biggest trout. Biggest stock trout last year was caught on this guy right here. Again, you just hook them right there in that head, and then you're just gonna, it'll float. Let me just get one of these out. Size 6 hook. You're gonna get this guy here, and you're just gonna go, oh shoot, we got a better camera angle. You're just gonna go like this, go right behind it like that, hook it in, go like that, just like that, leave a tiny bit of hook sticking out, just a tiny bit, and then you're just gonna let it sit in the water. It's just gonna sit, because this will float. So your rig's here at the bottom, it's gonna float whatever 18-24 inches off the bottom, and it's just gonna sit like this. And if you have a windy day or something, this tail's just gonna move around in that water, and they're gonna get the fish's attention. And garlic scented, it'll also blow all that scent down to the end of your pond or lake, wherever you're fishing, and within 15 to 20 minutes, you should have a trout on. If I'm not catching trout on either of those 2 other baits I showed you, go with the corn, because that's a winner for sure. So if you can, buy the corn one, why not? Also by Berkeley Power Bait, works really well. So for weights, I like to use a bullet head weight, and that's gonna be in a 3/16 ounce. That is my favorite size to use. You can make really good casts with it, and you can still get really subtle bites noticeably with this weight. 3/16 ounce bullet head, perfect size for anywhere, even on really windy days. So barrel swivels, I don't use anything fancy. I just use these size 10 barrel swivels. Doesn't matter what company you get them from, I don't think it does. But yeah, just a nice size 10 barrel swivel will do just fine. For now, if you're not into Carolina rig fishing, or bait and weight fishing, as some people like to put it, I highly recommend using this little spoon. This is by Dick Knight. It is a, what size? Number 1 brass spoon. Panther Martin makes some really good spinners. If you're gonna keep your fish, he's got a lot to say. So yeah, we're moving. But yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it up for today. If you've got any questions, please put in the comments down below. I will try to respond as quickly as possible. But yeah, that Carolina rig and spoons I showed you, you should be able to get started with some stock trout doing those methods. I hope you catch some good fish out there, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.